Assalamu alaikum to those tuning into the show today. We are having technical difficulties, so just bear with us. We are going to see if the show will actually air today. Please sit tight. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Can everyone hear me?
Walaikum
Sister
salam.
Melody, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Praise be to Allah, Brother Patrick. We're going to go ahead and get started and jump right in. Praise be to Allah. As I mentioned earlier, we are experiencing a little technical difficulty, so we ask that our audience please be patient with us. So I'll go ahead and open up as usual in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I bear witness there's no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger, and I greet each of you in the greeting words of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, sis.
Praise be to Allah. Brother, Sister Melody, so happy, so good to see you again. Brother Patrick, so happy to have you. To all of our guests who are chiming in, I see you are giving us the greetings, so we're returning them of Assalamu alaikum. We're going to go ahead and do, as we normally do, just remind everyone of why Sister Melody and I even do this show. We're just so blessed and honored to be able to help the believers and anyone really who's tuning into the show start their own garden. Doesn't matter how big or how small. We just want everyone to please go ahead and do like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has asked us to do, and that is to grow our own food. We all can bear witness that the food in the supermarket is just not doing our bodies any good. So we got to take care of ourselves, do something for ourselves, or suffer the consequences as we're told. So for today, I'm so excited. We have an awesome show today. And we do have Brother Patrick, who I cannot wait to get into his slides and hear his conversation and hear his experience and share it with our audience. So, Sister Melody, I'll let you go ahead and take it from here.
Yes, ma'am. For the sake of time, I just want to introduce Brother Patrick, one of our brothers from Louisiana, and also working out of Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee, that is. And Brother Patrick has shared with me some of the things that he's doing, and that's cattle. We don't hear about animal husbandry as much on this show, but our brother is doing that. I know some of the followers or an audience do eat, meat. But brother, I want to go ahead and just get you in because, sake of time, 6:30 we will be cut off. So can you share with us some of the things you're doing and why you started doing what you're doing?
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna leave one screen and come back on another. And pull me up on
Yes,
here.
sir. Brother Patrick will be with us in a moment.
Okay. Oh, that's all right. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Can you hear
salam.
me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
You all can hear me well?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, family. How are you all?
Wa alaikum salam. We are wonderful, Brother Patrick. So excited to have you on the show.
Yes, ma'am. Praise. Oh, couple things. First thing is, I didn't realize that it was 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You know, we on Central, so I was like, yeah, I'm early. No, I'm thinking I got time to play with, but praise be to Allah. So when we started off, I was still driving, but I have made it home now, so I'm inside. And second thing is, I work out of New Orleans in Mississippi, not Memphis.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am. Correction.
Yes, sir. All right, Sister Melody.
Yes.
Sister Melody, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, so our brother is a contractor and he's,
Yes.
has a farm. I don't know how many acres that you working with right now, Brother Patrick, but tell us about yourself and tell us how you got started and where you at now.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I am a contractor. Been a contractor for the last 25, 26 years.
She's so.
Um, so we do residential, commercial, construction, electrical, plumbing, mechanical, pretty much everything. And the farming part, I've always wanted to get into farming after hearing the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad encourage us to do so. That's always been a passion of mine, and for the most part, I'm a make it happen type of brother. So about 18 years ago, I listened to a lecture from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan dealing with farming, and I was like, you know what? I don't know why I'm procrastinating. I'm going to get me some land. So I purchased 5 acres of land in a meat, Louisiana, which is 45 minutes, an hour away from New Orleans. But I didn't realize because 5 acres at that time was a lot of land to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, ooh, I got 5 acres. But I never really moved out on it. And it wasn't until the pandemic hit, like late 19, when my father was sick at the time. He had cancer, and I had to bring him to Texas to MD Anderson Hospital,
Mm-mm.
and we stayed in Texas for a year. And while that, as that time was passing, the pandemic kind of came while we were in Texas, and it was like, just kind of bringing it full circle. Like, man, you've been procrastinating a long time, and it might be time for that survival kit. So I was like praying, oh Allah, please don't let this be it, because I'm not ready. I haven't prepared myself. So, but this is years later from the time that I initially bought the 5 acres. So, my family has grown since then. Um, Business has grown. I've grown. So I realized, man, I need some land. So while in Texas, I was looking at farmland online that I could purchase. And Brother Patrick from Atlanta, he and I talked from Your Faith Farms. And, I got some information from him and, try to give me a little, just a little cheat sheet on getting me a farm. So my goal was to find a ready operational farm was my goal. So while looking, I found a farm that was a cattle farm. Everything was there. They had the catch pen. They had a house on the property. Everything was there. Water lines were ran under the land. So I was like, that's it right there. And that was the initial purchase was 64 acres. And by the time I got home and made it to the property, I met with the guy next door, and I was like, man, look, if you're interested in selling, I like to buy that, because I didn't want anybody, kind of up on me like that. So I purchased the next 64, which was 128 acres. And then later I purchased 14 more acres, which brought it to 142. So we run 142. And for the most part, I do about 85, or between 85 and 90 female cows. Um, on the land, and that was my starting point. So that was 5 years ago. So since then, I have added chickens to the farm, a couple hundred chickens, which give us, um, I think we're doing about maybe 60 eggs a day right now. So I'm kind of learning that business right now. And the plan is to start planting, inshallah, maybe this winter we're gonna do some greens, just so I can start learning, and then take it from that point.
Wow, Brother Donald, we have to give him credit because he the one that introduced us to you. And is that where you got your chickens from?
Yes, ma'am. I got the chickens from Brother Donald. Brother Donald, actually, so um I have two houses on the property. Well, three houses now because I just built another. So the house that I used to live in on the farm, Brother Donald came out to help me, so he stays in that house. And I built another house on the other end of the farm. We almost finished it. I believe. Did I send you the photo, Sister Melody?
Yes, you sent me some.
We have the photos.
Yes, ma'am.
Upload
Yes.
some.
Yes, ma'am. But
Um, do you mind, Brother Patrick, if we start loading those photos now so we
oh,
can
yes,
talk
ma'am.
about
You
those?
can. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So, Brother Patrick, are you using the cows for milk or these dairy cows?
No, these are meat cows. So the farm that I purchased, the guy, he had the farm for 30 years. He was an older guy that he had gotten cancer, and he was retiring. But I just used the exact system that he already had in place. So what he did, he sold calves once or twice a year. Um, So roughly, right now the prices are through the roof. But when I first purchased it, the calves were running about $1,000 a calf. So if he had 90 cows, so he was doing about 90,000 a year just in calves. So I was like, that's enough for the farm to, basically pay for itself. So I'll start there. I didn't try to. My dad had a saying that he would always tell us, well, tell me rather, I'm the only boy. He'd tell me not to reinvent the wheel, right? When something is already in
That's right.
place and is working, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I came in and did the exact same thing that I found the previous owner doing, which is selling calves. So right now, we're not moving away from selling calves, but we've expanded to selling meat. And I have a cow called the Wagyu cow. I don't know if you're familiar
Mm-hmm.
with it. It's the
Yes,
Japanese
sir.
cattle,
Yes,
and
sir.
that meat is like in major demand, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
it's a
Wow.
it's a serious seller. So what I've been doing lately is selling off some of my commercial cattle and moving to that photo you have on there. That's a few of the Wagyu cattle. So I'm moving from the commercial cattle to all Wagyu cattle. And
Mm.
I guess about in the next year, I've been in, transition all the way to the only thing I have on the farm is Wagyu. But right now I have Black Angus, Charolais, Hereford, all on, and the Wagyu. but I'm switching to all Wagyu, and then that way I won't have to go to the market with them. I can go straight from farm to house or farm to restaurant.
Oh
That's
wow.
beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Yeah, Wagyu meat is very, very you're right, in high demand.
Yes,
And I see the cows there.
and that's yes, ma'am, and that is some of the land. The land is beautiful, and it's I can't take any credit for it. A lot of the work was done when I purchased it. I mean, so anybody that's looking to purchase land, just know you have one or two options. Either you're going to purchase it already developed and ready to go, which is more expensive, or you purchase it with the intent of you're going to do the work. And in that case, you would need tractors and dozers and excavators and so forth. And actually, when I purchased this land, I just purchased the whole thing. So the guy had the tractors, he had he had all the equipment. So I bought it. I was like, how much for you to just walk away? And he was like,
Wow.
you want to keep my tractor? That's what the guy said. I'm like, yes, sir. I'd like to keep the tractor. So I kind of purchased a ready-made farm and moved from that point. I'm just starting to. I've been playing with planting, but
Mm-hmm.
the reason I went with the cattle farm is because I knew how limited I was with time initially. I am working, so and most of the my work was in New Orleans, so I would have to leave New Orleans and go to Mississippi, and the cattle didn't require as much day-to-day maintenance. They can stay out there a
Right.
couple of days by themselves or a week by themselves. And then I hired someone to kind of help me, who's more in tune with working on a farm and so forth. So that's how that made it simple coming in. So it's much more work in planting that I'm getting ready for. So that's why I waited until we had the house completed, where I'm coming, from there to go to work versus coming from here to go there.
Yes, sir. And I do have a question. I remember when we had cattle, we had about a total of about 7 to 10 acres, and we had about five cattle. But for those who are interested in purchasing, how much land per cattle do you use?
About an acre and a half.
Right. Per
Yeah.
per cow.
Some people
They be
tighten it up to
pushing
like a acre a
Mm-hmm.
cow or acre per cattle. That's very tight, and that calls for a lot of moving. Because what'll happen is, the cattle has no filter, so when they
Right.
start eating, they're gonna eat it to the ground. So once they eat the roots
the
out,
20.
once they eat the seeds out, then there's no grass at all. So you would have to keep moving them. So the adequate amount of space is about an acre and a half per cattle.
Yes, sir. Other because if you don't have that much, you're going to be feeding them out of your pocket
Yes,
by
and
having to
then
purchase that hay.
it starts not to make sense.
Right.
Yes,
Absolutely.
ma'am.
Absolutely. And this is a picture of the pond that's there.
Yeah, that's one of the ponds. I don't know how many photos I sent, but I actually have 4 ponds on the property. Um, that's one of them. That's in the center of the property, I believe. And I actually had 5 ponds on the property, but where I built the house, I eliminated that pond because I cut all the trees down and put them in the center to burn. And I eliminated that pond and made one of the other ponds bigger because I always wanted like a little mini lake. I really wanted to live on the lake,
Yes,
but it
sir.
doesn't look like that's gonna happen this lifetime. So I'm trying to get as close to that as possible. So we expanded one of the ponds. I'm not finished with it. I don't know if I sent any pictures. It's nice size, but I kind of want like a little mini lake,
Go to
just
the
for
next picture. How
just
do
to
you
play in.
eliminate? You mentioned eliminating a farm, the pond. How do you eliminate a pond?
You
Dirt,
feel it.
soil.
You
Oh,
feel it.
yes, sir.
Since I'm building, I mean, since I'm digging the other pond bigger, I have to put that dirt somewhere anyway. So I eliminated the pond. The pond that I'm saying I eliminated is actually right next to this house that you have on the screen now. So um on the immediate right side facing the house there was a pond. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason I eliminated it, because while I was building this house, while I would be out there, I would hear all the crickets and the frogs, and then it dawned on me, man, I ain't gonna be able to sleep with,
Right.
so I was gonna eliminate that pine anyway. So I like the pine, but I don't want it up on me like that. I want it a
Yes.
little distance on it.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Brother Patrick, because yes, that's one thing for our audience who's listening. Please
Yes,
understand if you have that pond close to your home, while it's
yes.
a beautiful sight, the sound is very, very loud.
Well, and
And
it's not as bad when all the trees are eliminated though.
right.
But this pond had trees around it, and it was like I was in the jungle. So yes, ma'am.
Yes. Sister Melody, it reminds me, remember we were talking and you were saying you could hear the crickets on your land? They were so loud.
Oh, my day
Yes.
was so low I couldn't sleep for nothing. Is that because of the trees or because I don't have a pond?
No, that's the crickets. It's the frogs that be by the trees.
Oh, they told me that they was like making babies when I
Yes.
heard them real loud and stuff.
Yes. Yeah,
It
that's
was
the
Wow.
their
crickets.
turn.
Now I haven't experienced that on the whole farm though. I haven't had a cricket problem. And the
Hmm.
frogs were only at this pond because like I said, it was 5 ponds, and the only place where you can hear frogs and a loud sound was at that particular pond. So I figured if all the other ponds are clear, there's no trees around them. But
Right.
so I eliminated all the trees off of this in this plot where this house is.
Hmm.
I cut all the trees, so there's no trees on there. It's only on the outskirts.
Brother Patrick, that was another thing that a few people had talked to me about. They wanted to know the expense of removing trees. And do we have believers in that area who can assist in that regard or have the equipment?
Well, so what I did, I purchased 40 acres down the street from me,
Hmm.
and there was a house on it, and I renovated the house, and I sold it to a friend of mine um, at no additional expense. I just sold it to him for what it cost me, and he has heavy equipment. So he
Okay.
moved down the street from me. So he has the excavators, he has the dozers, the bobcats. So and my son works with him. So um the answer is it is expensive to have trees eliminated unless you have a lot of acres, like 20 plus. The tree companies won't even come out for under 20 plus unless paying out the wazoo. But 20 plus acres, they'll actually pay you something, because I've cleared off
Right.
land, and gotten a return. So instead of um paying to get it done, they paid me like 10 or 15 grand to come and take the lumber.
Okay, praise be to Allah. Um, Before we move on, we do have, I'm being told we do have a question, Brother Patrick. So we're going to go ahead and slide that in because our
Yes,
time
ma'am.
is getting really short. So let's go ahead and get to our question.
You gonna
Okay,
read it out loud?
I s- let's see. Okay, this is from Sister Nakisha. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Patrick, did it cost a lot to acquire farmland?
It cost me a lot, and that was because of the situation that I'm in, for as not having a lot of time, and and wanting it done immediately. Um, so the answer is it did cost me a lot, but it doesn't have to cost a lot. You can get unclear land where I am in Mississippi for $2,500, $3,000 an acre. Now it's going to cost you to clear it, but if you purchase the land already clear, it's somewhere around 7, 8,000 an acre. So if you're talking
One
about
more question.
5,000, I mean, I'm sorry, 5 acres or so, you can get it for about 35, 40,000
45.
clear. So it's not a lot of money when you look at it compared to what we're used to paying. Like I build houses in New Orleans and they're the smallest lots you ever seen, like 30 by 30 by 100, 3,000 square foot, right? Which is not it's not even a ninth of an acre, and it
Right.
costs $100,000 or 75,000 a lot. So when you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about with 75,000, you can get 20 acres clear. So I would say no, is not expensive. It's really a mental thing, especially those of us in the Nation of Islam who've been given instruction to move out and do a thing. It's really, when you look at it, it's really simple. It's all about making the decision. I'm gonna get me some farmland, and I'm gonna move out on it. So in that regard, the answer is no, it's not expensive, but it cost
Well,
me because I did it last minute.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted, before we end, Brother Patrick, I wanted to give some of the believers and some people some hope, because I remember you sharing with me that your goal is to build like a 42 unit.
Yes, ma'am. And listen, so, and I'm always a business person first, so I guess it's the gift and the curse. So I always look for ways to pay for something. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So when you're talking about a 42 unit, um a 42 unit complex, you're talking about roughly 100 grand a unit. So you're talking about $4 million, right? Which is a big number. And so when I looked at it, I was like, yeah, that's a big number. So I said, well, how can I offset some of this cost? I was working on that yesterday and today. And where I'm at, there is there's a lot of funding in place for assisted living, for elderly
Right.
and so forth. And I was like, well, yeah. So if we do 42 units, we could just make 21 available for elderly, right?
Right.
And that will kind of offset the cost. So um yeah, I'm working on that now. We hadn't talked about it yet, but I just got a whole lot of information in the last 2 days regarding that. So that's gonna kind of offset, so we don't have to be out of pocket trying to build it. And another thing I said was that, oftentimes we wait for everybody to get on board,
Mm-hmm.
what's in our mind, which doesn't work most of the time, right? So someone has to move out, right?
First.
Me telling one of the believers or someone, yeah, man, look, it's some nice land, I can build you a house right here. That's one thing. But if we build the houses and then come back and say, look, we got 20 houses, this is the cost, blah, blah, blah. We selling them to you cheap, no deposit. Well, it's more likely that, you can get people on board.
Yes,
You're
sir.
right.
And
You got that
Brother
right.
Patrick, we are at time now. We're actually over time. But Brother Patrick, do you mind if you come back next week? Because I do have some more questions, and I know we got
Yes,
started a
ma'am.
little late with
Well, no.
technical
Yes, ma'am.
difficulty.
I'll be on time next week. I was on time. I was on the call early, but I didn't realize. I was like, I know Sister Melody told me 6 o'clock. Then I was like, I forgot she on the East Coast. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yeah.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So we look forward to having you back next week. It's just that we can't go too far over time because then it won't air on YouTube. So
No,
thank you
we good.
so much,
Thank you,
sir.
sister. Inshallah, next week I'll be on the phone, and
Oh, good.
we'll do it from there. Yes, ma'am.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. All right, listening audience, you heard that. You got to come back next week to hear us some more from
Yeah.
our dear brother. And we are so grateful to have all of you all participate with us. And we look forward to seeing you all again next week. So I'll go ahead and close out as usual in the greeting words of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, man.